sons and daughters of MILFs. How has your mum being super hot affected your life? Hi Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will call your boss. Growing up, my mum modeled for Harley Davidson and no fear. My friends all made comments, and I would act like it bothered me, but it really didn't. Not like it matters, but I wouldn't have preferred an ugly mom. She had a great confidence about her that she instilled in my brothers and me. The drawback was, I was a child of divorce, and my mum had no shortage of random dudes wanting to get it on with her. And of course, they would pretend to be really into her kids for a while, until they broke up, then we'd never hear from them again of course. It made me more annoyed than sad though. The alternative to this is that the ex hits the kids up to hang out after the breakup, which is apparently what you'd have preferred. I can understand for a long relationship over many years where he starts to feel like a surrogate father of sorts, but short of that, it would just be strange. That happened to my youngest brother and sister, twins. My mum started dating this guy when they were really young. They dated off and on for the next decade. Even got engaged twice. They just ultimately decided it wasn't going to work. He got really attached to my siblings and they were attached to him. They saw him as their dad. Even started calling him dad after a few years. He and my mum have been separated for almost 10 years now. He married, but my mum didn't. He and his wife will still come pick up my siblings for father-son, daughter time. He comes to all of the family events and major events and their leaves. He's really a godsend. Without him they would have grown up fatherless. It seems weird on the surface, but it works for all of them. Families come from all kinds of situations, not just the traditional, and I'm glad you guys were able to have something like that despite the circumstances. Love goes beyond stereotypes and conventions. My mum had a relationship with my 5th grade teacher. Flirted with all my friends as well as my sisters as boyfriends. Then she divorced my dad, who's a pastor. I would say she was a cool role model. Now she lives with a dentist in a $5 million house with an ocean view in Florida. Your mama sure does care about your schooling, son. Not my mum, but my dad. As some background. He looks a bit like Thor in the Avengers movies. He is Norwegian too. Throughout my childhood my friends and their moms always told me how good looking he is. It didn't help that he was newly divorced. I was always so uncomfortable when they were like, wow, your dad is so good looking. Or I see where you get your looks from. When we go to dinner, women, and the occasional man, will buy him a drink or make any excuse to talk to him. Went on vacation to a resort in Arizona. Everyone stared at him. People will ask me if he's my boyfriend. I'm 18F and he's 45, but looks about 35. It's annoying. LOL. My brother-in-law just got asked the other day if his daughter was his girlfriend. She's 13, but the mix of her parents' genes have created a 5 feet 9 inches dark-skinned beauty that looks like she's 25. He was not a happy camper. That would be more awkward than asking a fat woman when she is due. Nice ass on that girlfriend of yours, bro. That is a great plan if you want Thor to break your jaw. Everything turns into I'd bang your mom after any argument. I can't seem to have a normal discussion with no one. On the one hand that seems rough, on the other hand is your mum, who I'd bang. I'll take hand number 2 please. Yeah you will. I love your accent. It led to a lot of lewd jokes by my friends growing up, which I had to hit them for. Also sometimes my dad would talk about ex with my mum in front of other people, which was awkward. Not like graphic description, but it's weird to listen to your dad mention his active ex-life to your high school football position coach. But yeah, from 13-18 there were a lot of "Kidja for your mum is pretty hot dude. I wouldn't mind getting some alone time with her." To which I'd have to respond by saying frick you dude, that's my mom. I mean the alternative would be saying yeah my mum is pretty hot. Which is just freaking weird and unacceptable. The appropriate response is, I guess it's only fair after what I did with your mum last night. Voice. But it's weird to listen to your dad mention his active ex-life to your high school football position coach. Discussing positions with your position coach probably makes sense. Hey Kajafa, would you mind giving me your mom's number? It's for ERH. It's for academical purposes. Fap. Control F kid's username. I'm disappoint. Try his alt. Ninja edit. Try his penalt. Thank God I don't know it. You do now. Degrees. Nice try. I knew a girl in high school who had a mum that was pretty young and very attractive. It was something that bothered her a lot and caused her self-esteem issues, because whenever they would go anywhere, her mum would get all the attention and was a type of person who loved it. The guys at school would also talk a lot about how hot her mum was and always made jokes about it, which she usually brushed off, but you could tell they bothered her. I know this feeling. My mum is really pretty and super charming. My sister is also really beautiful. I get a lot of comments about how we don't look related, which is code for, why aren't you prettier? It used to bother me a lot, but I'm married to someone who thinks I'm beautiful and my daughter is crazy cute, so I don't care as much. Still stings a bit when I go out with them and people tend to act like I'm not there. I have brothers who are a million times more attractive than me. I know that feeling. Whoa, your two sons could be models. They're so handsome. Oh, and Zebra Mouse is a nice boy. My handsome brother, who didn't even go to my school, was lusted after by girls in my year who didn't know I existed. I remember one asking me if I was really related to him, as though someone had told her that as a prank. The disbelief in her expression still pisses me off 35 years later. The disbelief in her expression still pisses me off 35 years later. Yeah, that's the look. Disbelief. Mild revulsion. Pity. I distinctly remember having the biggest crush on this girl in high school who hardly knew I existed, even though we shared classes. I find out some years later that she, along with every other girl at that school, had a thing for my little brother. She slept with him. He decided not to go out with her and my heart died a little. My mum is really hot and it sucks, because I feel like, as her daughter, I kind of have to live up to how she looks. Friends are always telling me that my mum is awesome and it makes me feel awkward, lol. She's really stylish, though, so I get to borrow her clothes a lot. Typically I would get jokes about banging my mom. Always laughed it off and moved on. Then into high school I realized that it was a backhanded compliment of sorts. Then started turning the tables on the jokers. They'd say my mum is hot blah blah blah. Then I'd say yep, that's why I look normal and you and your mum look like the offspring of Chris Farley. They stopped after that. My mum does look kinda like Chris Farley. Chris Farley was cute as frick. Remember people, your stories aren't considered true until you post a picture of said MILF. God's work. This guy knows MILFs. I'll volunteer to go through all the pictures to confirm they are MILFs. It may take me a while though. I would like to share how it has affected my grandson's life. Grandson by marriage. My grandson's mother is drop dead 10 out of 10 beautiful tattered triple D fake boobed kind of crazy. She is an escort at golf tournaments. Rich guys will fly her with them on a jet. While they go away for a 4-day golfing tour without their wives, she brings back around $7 10 grand. My grandson is 7 turning 8 this year. She expects his hair to be perfect. In the morning it takes at least 20 minutes to get his David Beckham style right. Afterwards he is not allowed to play, because he will end up messing up his hair and clothes. She never read to him, or taught him his ABCs, so he was really behind in kindergarten. Her entire care and love for him is not for his education, or being kind. It's being entitled, and getting whatever you want whenever you want. How this has affected him. A lot of his feelings are buried. He hates being called stupid in school, because he's just learning how to read in 2nd grade, so he internalizes a lot of his emotions. One of those, and I hate it, is excitement. For example, I took him to Disney World. When I told him, he just looked up and said, okay. The reason behind this is because his mother made and broke promises for exciting trip after exciting trip, so he figured it was never true. A child without excitement is like having all the magic in the world taken away. He has a hard problem making friends. He stands out like a sore thumb. Wearing designer jeans, shoes, shirt, and his hair done up, and they live in the shootier part of Houston. All that money she makes goes to laser liposuction, botox, and laser hair removal. Makes it near impossible for him to make friends. He has no people skills, because his mother doesn't. She's entitled, an ex-object, and had pulled him away from anyone close. That is his father. His father's parents, my husband and I are all that is left, but she's already pulling him away from us too. How he sees her. He understands what his mum is. She wears very scantily clothing, always has guys in her rooms across the hall from him, so he's not stupid. He doesn't know the depth, but he understands a portion. Him and I are very close. When his mother is around we have to put up this front where we don't say anything to each other, because she could get jealous, and he knows that when that happens, she tears him away. It's a sad life, because being super hot takes works, and a narcissism that must come along with it. Who knows what his future holds? But I hope every day that he is going to make it through just fine. I can tell you really care for this kid. Well duh, here's your grandson. But you've obviously put a lot of thought into his situation and think about his needs all the time. I don't know you, but I respect the hell out of you for it. Thanks for your response. Seriously. And I live in Denton by the way, so if you'll ever make it up this way, I have a niece that is 7 who is very friendly, but also has a mother that has her own priorities that she puts before anyone else's. I know I'm just an internet stranger and this probably seems weird, but parks are fun for kids. I hope your grandson realizes eventually how much love he has around him and how wonderful the world really can be. Thanks for sharing your story. By the way, please ignore the folks commenting around me. Okay Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will call your boss.